Welcome to an episode of Founder in the Chair. I'm your host, Veena, and today my guest has gone from battling self-doubt to empowering hundreds of women to transform their bodies, minds, and lives. Today's guest has built more than just a coaching business. She's built a movement. As a mum of two and co-founder of Alpha Camp, which she runs alongside her husband, she knows exactly what it's like to juggle family, work, and personal goals. While Alpha Camp supports both men and women, her true passion is helping women, especially mums, professionals and entrepreneurs who felt like they've had to put themselves last, and they can finally reclaim their confidence and prioritise their health. Through her coaching, she's breaking cultural norms, challenging outdated expectations and empowering women to stop living at the bottom of their own priority list. Her mission goes far beyond fat loss. It's about rebuilding self-belief, transforming mindsets, and helping women step into their full power. She's here to share her journey and her clients' incredible transformations and how she's helping women everywhere stop surviving and start thriving. So I'm so excited to welcome Deepa. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So you've built a movement.
Yep.
Tell us more. How did it start?
How did it start? God, where do I start? A journey, really. A journey. A business that I've set up with my partner, which I'm really lucky to have done. Mm-hmm. But if you'd asked me maybe 10, 15 years ago if this is what I'd be doing, I would have laughed and said, no chance.
What did you do 10, 15 years ago?
So actually, my previous life was a chartered surveyor. So I was an asset manager.
Oh,
so
wow.
Property was my game. And my partner was a director at Hayes Recruitment. So really different to what we do now. Very corporate lives, 9 to 5s, intense careers, really rewarding careers.
Yeah.
But certainly 15 years ago, I wouldn't have seen this trajectory. I wouldn't have believed that I'm doing what I am doing now. But I suppose certain life events occurred to kind of change our course, let's say. And then it just became inevitable that this would be what we do. Yeah.
Do you want to share that life event?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, there wasn't one tipping point. I would say I think there was maybe 3 key tipping points. Neither were. Neither it wasn't the case that these things happen and then suddenly life changed, but they were like slow burners that just kept changing life by that 1 degree, and lo and behold, years later we're in a total different position. But I suppose for me, one of the biggest changing points was my beautiful mum. She at 47 suffered a stroke, a brain hemorrhage. When she had the stroke, she wasn't expected to survive. We were told to prepare to lose her that night. I suppose only now I'm 43, so I can really understand how young she was. She was only 47 when it happened. And I remember the first day when I went to see her in the hospital, she was in St. George's and she was looking out the window and she just looked like a shell of herself. Like, she didn't quite know who I was or couldn't recognize me. But I think that was a real turning point for me. Like, my mum's journey has taught me a lot, because my mum, as many of us maybe can relate to, is a very traditional, selfless Indian lady who gave everything that she had to her kids, her husband, her in-laws, her family. It was selfless as you can get, She did have undiagnosed type 2 diabetes and blood pressure, which she wasn't aware of.
Okay.
Because she never used to go to the doctors, or it was only, she'd always put herself at the bottom of the pile. And I suppose it was a slow burn for her, but when it hit her hard. And I think when I sat in the hospital and I looked at her and I realised that, I actually saw a quote that week and it really resonated with me, and it really made me think of Mum, because it said that you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. And I think that's what she done, basically.
I love that quote.
Yeah, it really hit me hard. And I realised that actually that's what she's done. She set herself on fire to keep the rest of us warm. And, she survived, and she's an absolute soldier. She's gone on to launch a restaurant with my brother, and she's such an amazing person. We taught herself how to cook, and she's an amazing cook. Like, that's her thing, right? But it cost her a lot. It cost her a lot. One of her most favourite things was to drive. Like, she would go on long drives and Bollywood music, and that would be her unwind, and she couldn't drive anymore because she's got stroke-induced epilepsy. But anyway, that event with my mum, although it wasn't an absolute transformation the next day, it planted a seed in my mind that you have to put yourself first. It's wrong to say put yourself first, but you have to be up there in terms of on the list of priorities. You can't be at the
Yeah.
bottom of the pit because you'll have to pay for it at some point.
Yeah.
So, and I suppose for me, it was like, if I don't change something, then I'm following in mum's footsteps.
How old were you at the time?
I've got to have been 27, 28, 27 maybe. My mum had all of us really young. And although things changed in me in that moment, I was married. I got married at 23. The next year I fell pregnant with my son. And so the real challenges of motherhood, our culture, being a daughter-in-law, having a career, all of these things hit me. And it was amongst those moments where there were moments where I was really letting myself go, when mum's sacrifice would just bring me back into check, and I'd be like, no, I've got to do the things that pours into my own cup as well, you know, whilst I look after everyone else as well. But it was a journey. And I suppose the next point was when my husband started the journey, because he was actually the real catalyst behind this all.
Okay.
He decided after I fell pregnant with my son that enough was enough, and he had to take care of his health, and he wasn't on a great path, to be honest. He was on quite a destructive path. And I thought, oh, great, okay, he's going to lose a bit of weight, become healthy. But I think I was very taken back at the effect it had on him. It wasn't just losing weight. You know, his mindset shifted, his health shifted, our relationship shifted, the way he was a dad changed, finances changed, his career changed, everything. And I suppose there was a moment where I sat back and thought, is that what this does? Is this what this can do? You know, and it was really, really profound, because I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but there was me saying this, but there were points where we thought maybe in terms of our relationship, we're done. Like, it was getting tiresome and it was getting challenging. Been together for many years, like since I can say it now, 14.
Yeah, you won't get in trouble
Too
now.
late now, Dad. Too late. But been together many years at that point, and I say the toll was really, you know, it was heavy at that time. But when he did start this work, and when he did, you know, start taking care of his health and fitness, and he built a connection to the gym, and I could see for him exercise was way more than the physicality. It was what it was doing to his mindset. Become so inspiring to see that, and I just felt like I'm not getting left behind. I've got to do something. But our journeys were very different, because I'm vegetarian. I'm a really fussy vegetarian. He eats meat and it's a much more varied diet, and far more disciplined than I am. So my challenges were different to his.
Okay.
He did sow a seed in me where I kind of thought, no, I've got to find a way, despite what my challenges are and why it might be different. So he was definitely a turning point in our lives, like that journey that he went on. And then in 2018, unfortunately, we lost my brother-in-law. So my husband's family's quite a small family compared to mine. Like, we're quite overbearing. Like, there's lots of us, cousins and uncles and aunts. There was just the four of them, him, his mum, dad, and his younger brother. His dad passed away when he was 10. And we lost Ash, unfortunately, in 2018. And that was a smack in the face, really, where we realised there is just nothing more important than your physical and mental health. And like, without that, there is literally nothing. And I think soon after Ash passed away, COVID hit, and we actually had time to sit and think, you know, because life was intense. And I think when we sat in that moment and we thought, if there's anything we could do, what would we do? And the only thing that felt right was help other people achieve what we were able to do through this work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because of the power of the internet and Instagram and all the rest of it, it didn't take much, really, just some courage to tell your story, and to be able to be okay to say where you were and where you are and how you got there. And then, just Alpha Camp came about.
So it started in COVID?
The idea of it started in COVID. The planning of it started in COVID. I think we took on our first actual client, although we were working with lots of friends and family. But our first actual client, I want to say 2019 or 2020, somewhere around there. Yeah. Just feels like such a long time ago now.
So during COVID, were you doing online sessions and...
No. Or during COVID, we just put our head down and re-educated ourselves, planned, established how we would do it. In 2018, I left work to focus on home. And also, I think we both had this feeling that we wanted to do something for ourselves, but just didn't know what. I had a lot going on at that time. I come from a very entrepreneurial family. My elder brother is certainly the driver behind that. I call him and my younger brother in the nicest possible way, Delvo and Rodney. They are a bit like that. I've called myself Trigger a few times. But he's a very unconventional in the way that he wanted us all doing something for ourselves. Get out your day jobs and be entrepreneurial. And he's just it's the way he ticks.
Yeah.
So in 2018, when Adz's career was doing really well, and financially we weren't so dependent on 2 salaries, I was able to say, okay, I'll take a minute out, focus on what to do next. And in that year, Ash passed. And then it became like, I just need to focus on my family for a minute, because he was married, but he was literally like the coolest person in my kids' lives. Like, they adored him. And so that reset really took some time to get around to not having him around and just understanding that, yeah, he wasn't coming back. But you have to go, sometimes when these shit things happen in life, you have to say to yourself, what good can I take from this?
Yeah.
And what can I do with it, And it feels a little bit like, Ash really sparked Alpha Camp. So it feels good, because you think in every moment that you're interacting with a client and you see some benefit, in my mind, I'm able to link that back to him somehow. And that feels powerful.
It's like leaving a legacy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a legacy that he didn't realise he was sparking when he was going.
Absolutely. I've got something similar in my life that happened when my friend passed away. And because she was my age and our children were the same age, and I filmed her dying videos, I kept imagining that was me. And after that, I started doing things. Had you said to me 5 years before, you'll become an instructor for walking on fire or walking on glass and doing these things, I would have been like, no way. No way am I doing that. But it's because of what she asked me to do that then sparked everything else. And she's left a legacy as well that she doesn't even know she did.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's
wow.
Yeah.
So I know you're a big advocate to help women. What are the biggest challenges you see busy women face when it comes to prioritising their health and their confidence?
I think the usual suspects are always there. Don't know what to eat, don't know how to optimise diet, haven't got time, feeling overwhelmed. They exist for everyone to a certain degree. And I try and change the perception by saying it's a perception of lack of time than really a lack of time. I think the biggest challenge actually is, unfortunately, we accept having our own self-care very low down on our list of values. And it's just this the way that our worlds are built now. We have to put, and that's not because out of laziness or anything of that kind. It's just the way our lives are built. Unfortunately, like nowadays, 2 people have to work in order to be able to even get a mortgage but that doesn't mean that suddenly as a woman, you're putting every other priority down, children and careers and household and in-laws and parents and supporting everyone. And it's tough. So that is the biggest challenge. That how do you get, when I'm speaking to these women, I am always asking myself, like, how do I get them to redefine their values, And actually, you can't redefine values. You've got to accept what the values are, and then you've got to try and help them build some connections between self-care and those things that are really important to them. Because, if you can't build those connections, I think you just, you will struggle. So it's tough. It's the mindset shift is the biggest challenge, I think, because when your mind changes, when your perception changes, somehow suddenly there's time. Somehow suddenly there's ability.
All of a sudden it's, I didn't have that
you didn't
before.
just gain an extra hour.
No.
You just shifted your mindset.
Yeah.
You looked at things in a slightly different way. But it's hard when you're in the trenches. Sometimes I see my whole purpose is to get the mindset out the trenches first of all, because then anything's possible.
So when they come to you and obviously they want to get healthier and they want to start a fitness routine with you, you then do the whole mindset with them as well?
I always say there's 3 parts of the journey. When we started Alpha Camp and we came up with this little fancy logo and whatever, and I don't know why we put mind and body conditioning at the bottom of it, but it wasn't really thought of. Now sitting where I am, I'm like, it is so integrated. You can't have one without the other. So when I'm coaching, I always know there's 3 aspects of my coaching. There's the diet and nutrition, there's the exercise and movement, and then there's mindset. And there's no 2 ways about it. And I would say, as much as I always say, diet is your foundation, the mindset underpins everything. And actually, when I'm having the calls with clients, be it a discovery call or deep dive call, which kind of happens after they've onboarded and signed up, the first thing I'm trying to decipher is, where are they? Where's the mindset at? Because when the mindset's in the right place, the other 2 things are easy. They just need structure then. They just need guidance, because there is an overwhelming amount of information out there these days, but an overwhelming amount of generic information. And it's, what do you do with that? How do you take it and make it specific to you? So that principally is our job, right? Is to learn who the person sitting in front of us is. Not just are they vegetarian, do they eat meat, how many times can they exercise, but what does their life look like? What are the other priorities that aren't going to suddenly go away? You know, what are the challenges that they're dealing with? But then there is a step deeper than that. You know, what is their belief system? Where are they with that? How knocked is it? How empowered is it? You know, and some people need more support on that side than anything else. Like the strategy bit, that's easy. Working out calories and, you know, finding a rhythm for them is the easy bit. It's then really supporting a person to transform that mindset, which is,
Do you
for
end
me,
up
is more
almost counselling them then? Because there's probably women who'll be like, but I can't come because I need to go home and make dinner for the family at that time. Or
Yeah,
my,
so
my mother-in-law's going to get really angry if I'm not there.
Yeah, there is. There's counselling to a certain degree. I don't like the word counselling, but it's like teaching almost and guiding clients to how draw their boundaries in a better way, if that makes sense. I think a lot of the problems happen is that we have, we don't just work with Asian people, but I think a majority of our clients are Asian. And a big problem we seem to have as Asian women is the ability to say no or draw some boundaries.
I can imagine.
It's tough, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, I have to eat. My mother-in-law's going to get offended. It's like, okay, let's learn to be okay with offending people sometimes. It's all right. What's the matter?
Offend some people, say no.
It's all right. You can offend in a
Prioritise
nice
yourself,
way.
Yeah. So beyond the physical results, what's the biggest shift you see in your clients after going through Alpha Camp?
Oh, mindset.
Absolutely. Definitely
Absolutely.
mindset.
So I love it when I do the first call
Yeah.
and I'll look at the stats and I'll ask, right, how old are you? What's your height? What's your weight?
Yeah.
And based on those numbers, I'll be able to quickly analyse mentally and go, okay, she's got about 15 kilos she needs to lose, or we need to hit about 20 kilos here. And they'll have a conversation with me and they'll be talking about 5 kilos. And I'll be like, okay, let's talk about the 5. Because if I go to 20, I'll overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Right? So we split our coaching up into 3 phases. And it's quite deliberate why we do that. And at the end of the first phase, which is 10 weeks, we have what we call their phase 2 or goal setting call. And it's never a surprise that we now are suddenly talking about 15, 20 kilos. Because what those 10 weeks have done is start planting a seed of belief.
Yeah.
And start shifting mindset. Because when I'm able to show them, your 5's done, now what? Like, that wasn't really the goal. That, you know, you just doubted whether you could achieve what you want to achieve. Now let's talk about what you're really capable of, you know. And it's that mindset shift that's really beautiful to see at the end of the journey. And it comes from the simplest, most repetitive, boring, you know, mundane actions that you've got to do on a daily basis to get your weight down where you need to. And there's some non-negotiables that aren't the most exciting and the most sexy to do every day. But that's where the power is, to be able to do those things despite them not being the most exciting things. Because
Consistency, hey?
yeah, for sure.
Wow,
For sure.
okay. So you talk about breaking cultural norms. What's one expectation women are pressured to live by that you think we need to challenge?
I'm umming because there's almost 2 in my head. I'm going, which one's more important?
Tell us both.
There's one. Well, one simple thing is just this expectation of selflessness, right? Put your kids first, put your family first, put your home first, put your career first, everything first but you. Okay, and it's really driven. I think in our culture it's almost admired, which is a bit tough, right?
Yeah, like my daughter-in-law's so good. She does this. She makes dinner before she goes to work.
Yeah. At what cost, though? No one
Yeah.
asks that.
Yeah.
You know, what's the cost of it?
Yeah.
So I think that's a cultural norm that I'm really comfortable in challenging women and saying, break it, you know. And I'm not saying you need to put yourself at the top of the agenda, because you're not going to. I still don't. I'll be faced with moments where I'll go, well, do I cook my own food? Do I cook the kids' food? Do I get to the gym quickly? Do I deal with a client quickly? And I'll put clients ahead of my own needs sometimes, you know. And it's natural part of, I think, being a woman and being a mum and being a business owner and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But it's how often are you doing that? How much is that driving your entire existence? That matters. You know, sometimes clients say to me, Deepa, I can't train today. I'm ordering a takeaway. You know, the kids and I are like, do it. Send me the 4 options you've got. Let me pick the healthiest thing for you. Let me help you. Because you're not always going to be able to put yourself first. But this constant, almost admiration in our culture that selflessness is this righteous thing. Like, I suppose because of mum, I saw the cost of it so hard that I don't put it on a pedestal anymore, maybe as I used to back in the day.
What inspired you to start this journey apart from your mum, and what drives your passion for helping women transform their lives? Is there anything else apart from seeing what your
No,
mum
maybe
went
just
through?
the feedback that I get. Like, it's so nice. It's so, well, nice is such a soft word. It's freaking inspiring for me. It's so, like I say, pour into your own cup. Like, it pours into my cup so heavily. You can't get enough of it. It's not personal praise that I can't get enough of, but it's seeing the transformation on the other side that I can't get enough of. You know, somebody that I worked with that's now 20, 30 kilos down, and, you know, they're now in a place where they're going, it's my time. You know, kids have flown the nest, and, you know, for some of them, or even women that are like few years or months postpartum, and they're like feeling like, you know, I've got this. I'm not the bottom of the pit. And that's very rewarding. And then every time you get messages like that, or you see a client's journey to completion, or you see them at the photo shoot and they're like doing, you know, they never expected that in their 40s and 50s they'll be take such empowering pictures and feel so amazing.
Do you do photo shoots?
That, like, we started shoots when we started the business. We worked with some friends and family, and we said, right, we're going to coach you for free for 6 months. You got to help us, because we really believe in what we're doing. Would you be up for doing a photo shoot? And they were all up for it. So that kind of launched the business for us, because we got some great content, and we were able to really, almost Ads and I were able to look each other in the eye and go, we know what we're doing. This is good. You know, we can do this. And we had to build that confidence ourselves. Like, you know, they say the proof is in the pudding. And seeing that transformation in those guys and what they were able to achieve was brilliant. And then it was like, right, how do we do this on steroids now? We need to do this more and more. And photo shoots kind of became part of our thing. When we get into the phase 2 calls, some clients will talk about just chasing a number on the scales. That's all they want to do. They want to hit a set number because mentally they've made some associations at that number, and that's fine. And we focus all on that. I do try and encourage, and we do as coaches try and encourage clients to say, think a little bit beyond the number on the scale, because actually true health and fitness is much deeper than just a number on the scale, right? And this is where we talk about things like, right, do you have a performance goal? Like, we do Tough Mudder twice a year, and it's amazing to see these amazing, like last year I had this amazing client. She was, you know, such a powerful lady who dropped her weight, did a photo shoot and did Tough Mudder, and that was like a, you know, 3 bucket listings on her list for her 40th birthday. But yeah, there's just so many aspects of the journey that you can help develop away from just how much do I weigh, you know, because it is deeper than that. It really is.
So running the business now, so you said you asked friends and family to help, and then 6 months later you did the whole photo shoot. So tell me, how important is it, running a business of your type of business, to have the content on point, to have the people who are willing to do this for you? Because you said, you know, you had some amazing photos and content. Does that really help drive your business?
Yeah, it has. So there's nothing better than being able to tell a client's journey from their perspective rather than my perspective as a coach, right? And this is what the photo shoots allow us to do, because you get to see the before and after pictures, which is brilliant. But, you know, you get to, the clients do a testimonial video and they talk a little bit about their journey, and it's something that they can be proud of. And so that side of the content is really important, because I think, especially with the work that we do, when you come into something like this, I can imagine if I was going to a coach like this, I want to see, where's the evidence? Where's your evidence? What have you helped clients achieve, right? So that part of the content's really important. That's the stuff that we don't have to do much effort to create, because it's the journey that's creating it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I suppose the other side of the content is the usual stuff you've got to do, right? Reels, documenting your life a little bit. And I think Ads has taken the baton with that one more than I have. I've just recently veered off and started making content that is more specific to females. Otherwise, we all used to sit on the same kind of Instagram page, etc.
Right.
But I think as a woman, when you come on a page and you're looking, you're let's say you're most frustrated, the heaviest you've ever been. You know, your confidence is knocked and you want to try and do something about this, and you land on a page and all you see is these men with 6 packs and biceps. You go, move on. Can't connect with it. There's no connection to it at all. And hence why I've started to make more specific content that is more female focused. It's the same journey in many ways. It's the same process. It's the same journey, but the challenges are different. And the wants and the needs in terms of what they're trying to get to are very different. Guys are very physique focused, and there's something, you know, for a guy when they get to that stage, it's very empowering. Not many of my female clients are trying to build a 6-pack and get biceps. You know, that's not what they're looking for. they just want to feel confident in their skin again.
Yeah.
They want to feel empowered.
So did you open a whole new page then for women?
Yeah, well, it was just my own personal page, and I just
Okay.
changed it from my personal content and started driving more of my client kind of results or my own journey, let's say, you know, and challenges and stuff. But I am a bit of a rebel. I don't like getting in front of the camera much. I think it's funny when you put me in front of it, I can talk away, no problem. But it's the getting it done, it's the planning, it's the, you know, I'll always be like, oh, you take this one, hun, you take this content session. I'll do it next time, kind of thing. I'll try and put it off.
Well, today you showed up here.
I
and
did
didn't
show
bring
up.
Him,
Yeah, I was
so
about to
well
say,
done.
Yeah. No,
So, as a business owner, social media is really important. And it helps your business. Do you get most of your business through socials?
Yeah, I would say it's our shop window, right?
Yeah.
It is our...
I love that, shop window.
That's what I
It's
call
exactly
it. It is
what
our
it
shop
is.
window, and, you know, it's important to keep it looking, you know, nice and attractive. So, yeah, we do put a lot of importance on there. We work with a lot of coaches ourselves. We always do. My husband and I are a bit of kind of coach junkies to a certain degree.
Okay.
We always have some guidance in life, and I like that. I'm very comfortable investing in myself, and investing money in business and bringing the right expertise on board. Like I believe in that, and I feel like I've been able to progress in life because I've been open to doing that. I think there's a real challenge in investment. Investing in businesses, I think, is easier than investing in yourself.
Yes.
And a lot of the times I feel that's the biggest one challenge that clients will have is they'll connect and they know they need to do this, but they've just never invested in themselves financially. And that's tough. I've had clients literally say to me, I need this so badly, but I know we need a new kitchen this year as well. And I need, you know, the kids want to go on holiday, and they are literally just judging their level of importance in that hierarchy and going, well, where do I spend this money? So it's tough, but yeah.
So as a founder, you and your husband are founders of Alpha Camp. What would you say is a top tip or a hot tip for running a business like yours?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to figure it out still. I think imposter syndrome, actually, watch out for that one. I think when we started the business, and because we are in part of a lot of coaching groups, it's very easy to hear about other people's success and other people's business development, and you can compare your own journeys to other people very easily. And I think when you're starting out any business, especially when it is so identity related to what ours is, we're not selling a product, and you know, it'd be easier if we were selling a product, to be honest. You're almost selling your own journey, your own story, and it's very easy to judge yourself on your own success or your own progression. And I think something that I learned very early on, Ads and I really done a lot of work on, we didn't just learn it, actually, we had to really work on this, is to deal with imposter syndrome and to stay in your own lane. You know, your success is your success, your journey is your journey. Many of the coaches that are out there, and there's some amazing online coaches in very different scenarios to Ads and I. I think we're one of maybe maybe not. I don't know. When I see them, they all look so young and, you know, like, you know, in their 20s and 30s. We're in our 40s. We've got two grown kids. They're in a very different scenario to a lot of the coaches in our space are. So I think we've always had to remind ourselves that, you know, our lives are different. Don't watch other people. Just focus on what you've got to do. Don't compare. Yeah, it's very easy. But that plays out in my clients' journeys as well. I'll put a result out for a client. I had it last week, and I had a beautiful client of mine who's doing amazingly. Oh my God, I've been so happy about my 6 kilo journey. And then I just saw Shiel's journey and I was like, oh my God. And she started judging herself. And I had to remind her and really do a bit of coaching with her, you know, to say your lives are totally different. You cannot compare where you are. You know?
I guess that's what people forget is not only is it the body's different, what you're going to eat's different, vegetarian or eating meat or whatever. It's the life, like you said, at home.
Yes. And
how much time do you actually have?
And actually circumstances, but also I would say what I really notice is the leverage behind a person when they walk into the business. Some clients walk in with such drive and such leverage, and sometimes they walk in because they've been through something so terrible that there is no stopping them. All they needed is a little bit of belief, some guidance and some strategy, and they are flying. And you can't compare that to where your mindset is at the moment. So it's easy to look at numbers and say, oh, but she lost 28 kilos in 6 months. She was being driven by something totally different to maybe doesn't exist in your life. You know, and I think it's very important to look at every aspect, but you don't see those aspects. You just see numbers and timelines. And it's easy to make a judgment based on that.
And then you compare yourself.
The
imposter syndrome. Wow. So Deepa, if someone's listening and they want to work with you, how do we get hold of you?
Instagram is most probably the easiest way. Deepa_alpha camp, ads_alpha camp, both the main business pages, but like I said, slightly different content depending on what you're trying to get out of this. Website, www.alphacampuk.com. I have to remember that. Those are the easiest ways. Yeah.
And is it online or is it in person?
It's all online. So our clients are all over the world. I can work with clients in New York, Dubai, India. So location doesn't matter.
Okay.
I say to clients, as long as you've got internet access, we can talk, we can work.
Yeah.
So, but we do have a great community of London-based clients. So we try and do some in-person events. Like on Saturday, we had a gym workshop in Harrow. And it's great to be able to meet face-to-face then and to give a bit of personal training advice. And more than anything, is just connect with the people that you're working with, right? I had an amazing client travel from near Luton, I think. She just, I've been working with her since January. I've never seen her face-to-face.
Wow.
So it was lovely to be able to meet her. But location doesn't matter. Like I say, doesn't matter really where you're based. We can help regardless.
Do you have an app as well? Is it just like...
We are moving over to app. We've been very slow with this.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got some really simple, easy coaching tools that helps us kind of deliver the coaching.
Okay.
But we are moving over to a dedicated app. It's taking longer than usual because, when that saying, if it's not broke, why fix it? It's just the systems work so well. We've not really pushed hard with it. But I say, like, Ads and I are great coaches. We're not necessarily the best when it comes to tech or, other aspects of the business that you need to be able to. So it's just about bringing the right people on. And I'm
bringing the experts.
Yeah, we've got some good experts on board now. So we're getting there.
So watch this space. There'll be an app soon.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Any hot tip that you would want to give to a woman listening?
I would say the one thing that's really worth noting for anyone, and it might seem obvious, but it really doesn't seem that way when I do my calls. If fat loss is your goal, if that's something you really need to work on, don't worry about the gym. Just work on your diet. Your food, your diet, and nutrition is the absolute foundation of everything. I think, clients are quite surprised how much progress they can make just by getting that one thing in check. And it's the place where I say you don't need to find any more time because you're eating anyway. You just need to optimize what you're eating.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Deepa.
Thank you.